Well, many of you may know me when I was much younger. I'm so thankful that you guys are here. When I was much younger, I was much thinner, maybe a little cooler, had a lot more brown hair. And now that I'm older, I'm a little heavier. I'm losing my hair, getting more gray hairs. My back's starting to go. So through this, I've learned, and God's taught me to number my days. 13,580 to be exact. My grandma, on the other hand, she lived about 34,493 days. Now that's a long life. 94 and a half years to be exact. How many days have you been alive? Now the reason I ask is King David wrote in Psalm 39, verses 3 and 5, and I'll share an excerpt. He said, "O Lord, make me to know my end." Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me." You know, wow, to consider that the God that we declare to you today, He knew how many days my grandma would live. He knows how many days you will live. That is a God of power. This God knew how many days my grandma would live and afforded me some blessed time with her those last 10 days that she lived. You know, I was down in California, and for some reason I felt compelled to come back. And that's when I realized, as my grandma was dealing with these difficulties, that was the sovereignty of God, to know I needed to be back. And we also know that God has appointed a day once to die, and then comes judgment. So then the question I do want to ask you and pose to you with all sincerity: have you numbered your days? Have you prepared to meet God? You know, for some reason, we don't like to consider the end of our days, but we will spend many hours preparing for a new job, preparing for our retirement, preparing for a much-needed vacation. So why do we not prepare to meet God? You know, I would like to share some things I've learned from God over the 37 years of my life. You know, the book of Isaiah 6, it gives us a powerful picture of this one true God, and I want to declare Him to you today. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and His train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face. With 2 he covered his feet.